As the world mourns Pope Francis, history's most secretive transfer of power begins. White smoke, the path to a new pope, guides you through this momentous transition. We explain exactly what happens next, leading to the dramatic conclave vote. Learn how each ritual unfolds, what each tradition means, and why these ancient ceremonies still matter today. Follow along as the throne of St. Peter stands empty and a new chapter in church history begins. White Smoke, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you know what a group of flamingos is called? That's just one of thousands of facts you'll discover on 5 daily trivia questions. Hi, I'm Mark Ellison. Join me every weekday for 5 mind-expanding questions about everything from ancient history to modern technology. Perfect for impressing friends or dominating your next pub quiz. 5 daily trivia questions. And the answer, a group of flamingos, is called a flamboyance. 5 daily trivia questions.
Caloroga Shark Media.
Hey there, I'm Johnny Mac with 5 good news stories. I hope you had a nice holiday. I lost my voice for a lot of it, which is suboptimal if you make a living hosting podcasts. But we had some good news coming out of the weekend I want to share with you. So let me tell you what happened in Alaska. This incredible pilot named Esther Sanderlin was out there dropping frozen turkeys from her plane, turkey bombing. While most of us were just trying to figure out how to carve our turkeys, Esther was flying over Skwentna and West Susitna Valley, making sure her off-the-grid neighbors had turkeys to carve in the first place. She delivered between 30 and 40 turkeys to families who otherwise might not have had much of a Thanksgiving dinner. You want to know what inspired all this? Esther was visiting one of her newer neighbors recently when they mentioned they were planning to split a squirrel 3 ways for dinner, she told KTUU last Monday. I just had a thought at that moment. You know what? I'm going to airdrop them a turkey for Thanksgiving because I recently rebuilt my first airplane with my dad, and so I can do that really easily. Up there in Alaska, you can't always just hop in your car and drive to the neighbor's house. As Esther explained, during freeze up, you can't really get around, so you can't travel out there, but you can fly as long as you don't land. Remember that viral story from 2016 about the grandma who accidentally texted the wrong number for Thanksgiving dinner? Well, Wanda Dench and Jamal Hinton just celebrated their 9th Thanksgiving together last week. This year was extra special because Jamal got to host for the first time. He announced it on social media earlier in the month, saying, "Excited to announce that I'm hosting Thanksgiving this year for Wanda and I. Looking forward to a day filled with good food, great company, and lasting memories. Year 9 coming soon." You know, this whole thing started because of a wrong number text back in 2016. Wanda thought she was texting her grandson about Thanksgiving dinner, but she got Jamal instead. When they figured out the mix-up, Wanda invited him anyway, and they've been getting together every Thanksgiving since. This next story made me really happy. On Friday, we got our first look inside the restored Notre-Dame Cathedral in Paris. Well, good news. 5.5 years after that devastating fire, President Emmanuel Macron took us on a televised tour of this Gothic masterpiece, and it's just breathtaking. He said, "The blaze at Notre-Dame was a national wound, and you have been its remedy through will, through work, through commitment." About 2,000 people worked on this project: masons, carpenters, restorers, roofers, art experts, sculptors, engineers, and they've done what some people thought was impossible. The whole restoration cost about 700 million euros, but when you see what they've done, it's just, well, as Macron put it when he walked in, it is sublime. And get this, they didn't just repair it, they actually cleaned up years of soot and grime that had been there since the 1850s. They're having their first Catholic Mass back in the cathedral on December 8th. 2 years ago, Georgia Scully was in a terrible car crash in Huddersfield, England. The doctors told her parents she might never wake up from her coma, and if she did, she might not be able to walk or talk again. But here's where it gets incredible. When Georgia woke up 4 weeks later, she couldn't speak, but she could sing. And not just hum along. She could belt out Adele's "Someone Like You" word for word. Her mom Sharon tells it best. She said, "When Georgia sang for the first time, it was like a miracle. We'd been sat by her bedside hoping she would talk, but she just burst into song, singing Adele to the whole ward. Everyone was laughing. It was the breakthrough moment and first sign that we had a piece of our Georgia back with us. The idea came from a charity called Day One Trauma Support. They suggested that Georgia's sister Nicole create a playlist of her favorite songs. Pretty soon, Georgia wasn't just singing Adele, She was also rapping along to Cardi B's Bodak Yellow. Now, this wasn't an easy journey. Georgia had thought she was 16 and still in school when she was actually 23 with a job. But 2 years later, she's made incredible progress. She's regained her speech and movement, she's getting back to the gym, and she's even riding the bus on her own. Georgia herself says, "People don't realize the family needs support as much as the patient. I still get very confused and muddled, but I think positively about the future now. And you know what? Her mom says they couldn't be prouder." White smoke. The path to a new pope explores humanity's most elaborate and secretive transfer of power, a process now unfolding following the death of Pope Francis. This series reveals the hidden rituals, ancient traditions, and behind-the-scenes drama of papal transition. As the Catholic world enters this solemn period of mourning and anticipation, join us in witnessing how the Church has perfected this sacred process over 2,000 years, and what happens in these crucial days when the throne of St. Peter stands empty. White Smoke brings listeners inside the conclave that will determine who will succeed Pope Francis and lead the Church into its next chapter. White Smoke, wherever you get your podcasts.
You can get this podcast completely ad-free right now. If you're on Apple, just click the banner that says Uninterrupted Listening, and you'll get your first month free. If you use Spotify or other podcast players, go to caloroga.com/plus. It's just $5 a month, and you'll get access to over 20 premium shows with no interruptions. Binge listen to new series like the political thriller Acting President, Signal Lost, where military secrets land on the wrong phone, and Pager Protocol, the thriller about exploding pagers in the wrong hands. Plus, enjoy daily shows like Palace Intrigue about the royal family, daily comedy news, and 5 daily trivia questions to test your knowledge, and White Smoke, taking you behind the scenes at what's happening right now at the Vatican. You also get all our hot shows like 5 Good News Stories. Enjoy your favorite content without any ad breaks. Remember, Apple users click the Uninterrupted Listening banner for your free first month, and everyone else head to caloroga.com/plus. Get ad-free listening today.
Let me tell you about a wedding that almost went up in smoke, literally. Just a couple of weeks ago, on November 16th, Meredith and Joshua Diedrich were all set to get married at the Lodge at Three Notched Brewery in Virginia. But at 7 a.m. on their wedding day, Meredith got a call from her mom with some unbelievable news. Their venue had burned down overnight. You want to know what she did? She laughed. She told People magazine, what else is there to do but laugh it off? And get this, her bridesmaids even made a TikTok about it. But here's where it gets good. Instead of calling it off, everybody jumped into action. The Three Notched staff found them a new venue just 7 minutes down the road at Blue Toad Cider Farm. The whole crew, Neon bridesmaids, family, friends, parents, and staff from both venues, all pitched in to move everything. Oh, and just to add to the drama, her hair and makeup artist had been admitted to the hospital the night before. But wouldn't you know it, her sister's friend Autumn saw that TikTok video and drove 2 hours to come help. Meredith says it best. Our wedding was intimate and heartfelt. It wasn't what we originally planned, but it turned into a day filled with deep love, meaningful moments, and memories we'll treasure forever. They even gave it a perfect name. They called it the Beauty from Ashes Wedding. You know what I love about this story? Sometimes the best moments come from the worst situations, especially when you've got good people around you. And those are your 5 good news stories for today. If you enjoyed the program, tell a friend about it. They might like it too. I'm Johnny Mac. Have a great day.
These days, work is in trouble. We've outsourced most of our manufacturing to other countries. And with that, we sent away good jobs and our capability to make things. American Giant is a clothing company that's pushing back against this tide. They make all kinds of high-quality clothing and activewear, like sweatshirts, jeans, dresses, jackets, and so much more, right here in the USA. So when you buy American Giant, you create jobs in towns and cities across the country. And jobs bring pride, purpose. They stitch people together. If all that sounds good to you, visit American-Giant.com and get 20% off your first order when you use code STAPLE20 at checkout. That's 20% off your first order at American-Giant.com with promo code STAPLE20.